But I will tell you, aside from starting it, right, and making it grow into something substantive, I find that the hardest thing for a founder, CEO to do is to go into growth mode.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
What are the biggest challenge that you face coaching tech entrepreneurs, and how you become the challenge?
Yeah, you hit on a couple of things, which is, I think, and I'm going to say something probably that, some of your listeners will be surprised. I think that a lot of CEOs, tech entrepreneurs feel like they have to fake it till they make it. They have to like pretend to be extroverts in order to succeed. And what I would say, my experience is that introverts does not mean you don't like anybody. It means that you tend to get overwhelmed in with a lot of people or a lot of noise, right? In situations that feel chaotic. So then the question is, you may not be able to limit those exactly, but for instance, okay, conferences, right, which can feel exhausting and overwhelming. Can you get the attendee list beforehand and can you set up one-to-one meetings? Right? Like, in other words, can you use what works for you? And maybe, see, I think what happens is that you try to do, right? You go to a conference, maybe you're even speaking at it. You try to do as many things as you can, and then you just go to your room because you're like, you just go to your hotel room and you're like, I can't do this, right? So the question is like, how do you use who you are and how do you set yourself up for success, right? And here's the thing, what does success actually look like? Right? So I think being strategic about how you do things. I think the other thing is that the mistake that people make is that they don't get a team. It's funny, you just said it like you by, you are definitely an outlier, right? But you figured out a way to do it for a long time without a team. I think that the mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make is that they don't bring in people soon enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they don't. Yeah. The thing is that there is a transition, and then we need to talk about the ego, which plays a big part of this, right? So most of these entrepreneurs, they have been paying a lot of money in the companies. They coming from Google. They coming from Meta. They are genius in their own companies. They pay them a lot of money and make them very comfortable. They say, well, now I'm going to do my own thing. And it's completely different dynamic because they're coming with a big ego, right? And with this big, okay, this is not my job. I'm the department, whatever, manager. Everybody do what I say, this and that. And now they bring this culture from corporate to an startup, and the dynamic change completely. You need to be a different person. You have
Right.
uh, to modify to be a different type of
Right.
person in order to get to product market fit, to get to the first million. You need to be a hustler. You have to be able to go out there. You have to be able to listen to what the market is saying, and
Right.
this and the big deal. I'm the genius here. My technology is gonna change the world. I'm so clever. I'm so genius. that works very good for corporate to claim the corporate ladder. It doesn't really know. It doesn't really work when you build in your company because you have to be a leader. You have to uh, bring exactly
Right.
like you said, be able not only to bring people in, but enroll them in your visions, turn them into leaders, and amplify whatever you're trying to do. So
Right.
the CEO need to have a massive transformation from corporate to startup founder. Correct?
Absolutely. And here's the thing, in that situation, you tend to bring in people who agree with you, right? You want to bring in your friends. You want to bring in people that already have the same vision. And it sounds like you're like, well, of course you want to do that, Kim. That makes sense. Here's the problem. The problem with that is you. It may be good for your ego to have a lot of yes people around you, but you need people around you who are going to challenge your vision. You need people around you who are going to
Mm,
ask
mm,
better questions, right? And
mm.
and you have
You
to
see
make
it,
room for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kim. You see a startup there, and I start up, and then four people are technical. I'm like, guys, who's gonna sell this?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you're gonna bring people, and you decide to bring more technical people because you're building something that that's gonna change the world. Okay, fine. So who's gonna tell it to the world then? Because by itself, exactly like you described in your 5 steps, it won't sell by itself. So
It will
what you
not
said,
sell by itself. Yeah.
and when
You know what's very funny?
they bring people more
Yeah.
alike themselves, exactly like,
Yeah.
and then you worse when you bring an investor. You bring an investor, no, we need funding, and then you put in front of the investor, and the investor is looking at me, Harry, you crazy? I said, no, look, they're looking for funding. Yeah, they build a huge thing. They don't know if they can sell it. They don't know how much they're gonna sell it, and now they want my money to learn how to sell that investment. So it's like
Yeah.
they're speaking a completely different language. So the business, and I think in the other challenge that we have is that they read the news. Okay, you have the Amazon founders, you have the Amazon founder, the Google, the Meta, and everybody said, you know what, I'm gonna do my tech business and I'm gonna become a billionaire like those guys. By the way, they are tech like me. Well, the Amazon guy was not like that tech. Steve Jobs, he was not the knew about tech, but he was not like a tech genius. And when you look at those guys in the background, they have an exceptional skill to uh, to become a different person when the company scale. So when you need to be a coder, you're a coder. When you need to bring people, you bring people. And when you need them to set and run
Right.
your idea, when you need to bring very quality people and adapt and things like this. So, and not everyone is like that. Like in this podcast,
Right.
we have people that they are very good at 0 to 1 million. Other people 1 million to 10 million. Other people 10 million to 100 million. There are people that
Right.
have come here to this podcast that they are only good 100 million to 1 billion. That's the only. You give them a top, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do
Right.
with this.
Well, and what is interesting is that one of the sort of specialties that I do, so I would say that there are certainly many inflection points, but in the growth of a business. But I will tell you, aside from starting it, right, and making it grow into something substantive, I find that the hardest thing for a founder, CEO to do is to go into growth mode and to realize that they can't work 10 times harder than they're currently working. So something has to give, right? and they actually have to have literally give themselves a different job.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.